All right, grand rising, beautiful souls. Here we are. Let's hop to health. Hop to health together this morning, huh? How's everybody doing? Oh man, I've already had people reaching out about those CPTSD videos, guys. It's amazing, man. I know a lot of people just personally know a lot of people that have been to school counselors, they've been to therapy, they've been to rehabs, they've been in programs, and every single time they go to talk about their childhood trauma and abuse, and the counselor either blows them off or maybe lets them talk, but then it always comes to this. All right, well, that was your past. It's time to move on. Or, well, you were born in sin and you were evil and you didn't listen to your parents. And it's all gaslighting. It's very dangerous, guys. Very dangerous because it's not addressing the issue. It's completely covering up the root issue of our problems, which is CPTSD. And my theory is that 90 to 95% of Americans, okay, probably across the world, but I can only speak for Americans, just like I always talk about Christians, because that's what I know intimately. And I'm sure the same goes for Muslims and all the other religions. But anyways, my theory is that 90 to 95% of all of us suffer from CPTSD, from growing up in these systems. And our parents naming, numbering, cataloging us like cattle into these slavery systems, guys. I haven't even gone into that yet. And the reason I'm going into these subjects deeper is because you hear CPTSD, you've already been to a therapist, they gaslit you, told you, oh, it was your fault. It's all your fault, right? It's all your fault, you know? And you guys try to go on with your lives, and you try to do better, and it gets you nowhere. Things just keep getting worse, and you live in your own personal little hell. Because you've been to therapy, you've reached out, and these supposed experts told you it was all your fault, and to get over your past, and that you were a bad kid, and that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and to move on, and not dwell in your past. Guys, I'm not talking about dwelling in your past. Please don't mistake that. I am not talking about dwelling in your past. But when you're dealing with all of these symptoms, you saw those 4 boards from the video yesterday, CPTSD videos. I had to split it up into 2 because my phone ran out of storage. But you guys see all these symptoms. I mean, I can't look at anybody in my family and say they're not suffering from CPTSD, and they're all in denial. Or they've been to seek help and they've been gaslit, so they think that I'm a crazy loony bin, and that I'm just out of my mind and I'm dwelling in the past, and I just want to hate my mom and I want everybody to hate my mom. And it's not, guys, it's not like that. Come on, man. I'm 47 years old. 47 years old. 4 years I've saved myself. I've saved myself from a laundry list of symptoms and shit I was going through that bore me down and had me to the point where either I was going to have to commit suicide, or do what I did, which is figure this shit out and heal and figure out and be able to wake up in the morning and be grateful with every breath for the magical gift of life. And I've done that. And it's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle. But I'll tell you, it's amazing because, I had to figure all this stuff out on my own. I figured it all out on my own. And what I'm doing, I'm not a professional therapist. I'm not a professional nervous system regulator guy. I'm not a professional yoga guy. I'm not a professional meditator. I'm not an expert blah, 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 or this or that or the other thing. I'm a human just like you guys, and that's why my story's so important to get out there. That's why I've been documenting this for you all, so that way you guys can see if I can do it, anybody can do it. I brought myself back from literal hell. I mean, I had locked myself, guys, look at my first video. I had literally locked myself in my house. Locked myself in my house. I was a danger to myself and society. And I could not go outside the house. That's how bad it was. I cut everybody off in that first year. I cut everybody off because I figured out what was going on. And guys, I had done the same thing. I said, my past is my past. Move on. Don't talk about it. Don't dwell on it. Everybody had it hard. You were a bad kid. You didn't listen. You didn't help out enough. You didn't do enough. It's your fault just as much as it is your mom's. Your mom did the best she could, and I did that to myself until, guys, I had dozens of brain injuries throughout my life and concussions. And it literally, every time I would get one, I would get flashbacks to my childhood. I didn't even know. I gaslit myself so bad, and I was so out of touch with reality, with what these things are, the trauma and abuse, and what they do to us. I had no clue. So when I would tell people, I only told a handful of people. I'd be like, man, every time I hit my head, I'm getting like bombarded with replays of my childhood, and it's like nightmares. It's like frightening. I'm like, what's going on? I couldn't figure it out. And because I called it childhood, I didn't even say at that time, those years, I never even knew childhood trauma and abuse. And so what I'm trying to say is in that 4 years, I healed from everything. I'm not completely healed from everything yet. I'm still working on things. I'm still healing, still trying to figure out how to appropriately, in a healthy way and the proper way, deal with my mom, because her lies are still, it's unbelievable what her lies have done and how many lives her lies has affected. It's really, truly unbelievable. So I'm still trying to figure out how to deal properly with that, and how to emotionalize that properly. Because, it's not like it's in the past, it's still ongoing. She's still lying. She's still perpetuating these things. And there's a lot. There's a whole lot. But anyways, so I'm not an expert at anything. I'm not certified at anything. I'm not charging anybody for anything. I don't want money for anything. My payment is my living out my soul's purpose at right now in this moment. And that is by being courageous and sharing the truth, sharing what I went through, sharing how I got here, sharing how I saved myself for free. Guys, not only did I save myself, I didn't go to one therapist, I didn't go to one doctor. I hired one yoga teacher for one session that came into my house. I think I paid her $200 and showed me how to do yoga. That kind of yoga that I do. I don't even know what the name of it. It's got a name, but I don't know what it is. But anyways, that's the only person. Otherwise, everything else, all these other modalities, everything else I had to figure out on my own. And so what I'm trying to say is that I've been able to cut, guys, you wouldn't believe the amount of classes I've joined in the past 2 years, the amount of online classes that I've paid for and joined and everything. I have experimented and looked into everything. And because of my sensitivities and in the way I can read energies and the way my pattern recognition and my high intelligence from being autistic or whatever else is going on with me, and highly tapped in, I've been able to whittle this down to exactly what is needed, because it's a whole system, guys. It's emotional, it's spiritual, it's mental, and it's emotional, spiritual, physical. What is the other one, guys? Help me out. Come on. emotional, physical, spiritual. Lord have mercy. Wow. Okay, lymphatic massage. Maybe maybe I'm toxic. I just shook up all them toxins in my body. Let's get this lymph going. Let's get this lymph system going. Oh man, that's killing me. Okay, so we got emotional, spiritual, physical, in the other one. But anyways, you guys know what I'm saying. And so it's those four things, and we have to work on all four. Guys, that's why I'm seeing, look, I have this weird proclivity. I keep my finger on the pulse of message boards and comment sections, and I see what people are saying, and I see how they try to tackle this whole body system in one way. Like they just try to regulate their nervous system, or they just try to face their childhood trauma and abuse, or they just try to change their diet, or they try doing just one, maybe two things. Guys, that's not going to work. That's why it's a whole system approach. Physical, psychological, emotional. Wow. Man, why can't I remember the other one? So yeah, you got to hit it all the way around. And that's why the things that I'm mentioning, what was that board I did 3 days ago? 3 days ago, the Foundations for Healing. The Foundations for Healing board, guys. I did that video 3 days ago. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. Those are the foundations. I might need to redo that video because I used a green pin for that, and I don't know how well it showed up. I don't know if you guys can read it. But let me know if I need to redo that video. I'll be more than happy to do it in black and reds. That way it's easy to see. But guys, that lays out the foundations that you need to start doing immediately. And if you can, the sooner you start incorporating that, it's going to change your life. It will. But guys, you got to remember, this isn't a race to the finish line. You're going to get burnt out. If you treat it like everything else that we've done in our lives, like achieving, I'm going to learn everything, I'm going to achieve, and I'm going to win, I'm going to do it. Guys, it's not going to work. You're going to burn yourselves out after a week or a month. You're going to completely burn out, and then you're going to give up, and then you're going to go back to your bad habits. You're going to gain 50 pounds. You're going to be back on your alcohol and drugs. You're going to be back comatose behind your phone. So what we're doing is we're making this to where it's manageable. You're going to slowly build on these things. And it's literally like 10 minutes a day of the routines, and maybe another hour of doing your research on healing your childhood trauma, by watching these videos that I'm recommending. So people have already been reaching out. Okay, guys, we did our lymph massage. Don't forget your distilled water. Very important. Distilled water, it acts like a magnet. It acts like a magnet as it goes through your body. It's pulling all of the sludge and toxins out of your body. You should be, if you haven't detoxed, if you haven't cleaned, if you've had a shit diet, you should be drinking a gallon of that a day. A gallon of that a day. And that's fine. I get mine from the grocery store. I haven't even started distilling my water yet. I get mine from the grocery store. I get a local brand because I really hate Walmart. I do. I hate their water. Their water, it just all comes from the same sources, municipal sources that pulling it out of the shitter and then just running it through reverse osmosis. Anyways, guys, you need distilled water. And I get mine from the grocery store in a plastic jug. It's fine. We're it's steps, guys. This is steps. Of course, it's better to make your own and distill it at home in your own distiller. And of freaking course. But guess what you're going to do? You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to get halfway into it, and then you're going to burn your, and you're never going to do it. Just like if you try to do too much in this, on the foundations of healing, if you try to go gung-ho for the first month, you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to see very little results, and because you're coming at it from ego. And this whole thing is about breaking that ego and getting out of those habits and programs and indoctrinations of the ego, and allowing that gentle, loving, kind spirit soul, your inner child, to come forth and reconnecting and integrating with him or her, and then carrying on as the complete embodied soul that you are, and not playing these ego games. Guys, you can gain all the knowledge you want. You can be the smartest chap in the room, the brightest crown in the box, the sharpest tool in the shed. Guess what? Having all that knowledge up here is like carrying around a bucket of shit. What the fuck are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? If you are not taking action, if you are not changing your programming, if you are not changing your self-talk, if you are not breaking your indoctrinations and your belief systems that got you stuck in this bullshit in the first place, you're doing nothing. You're spinning in circles and acting like you're going to heal. And then that's when I see people like you on comments and message threads in all of these other videos and all over the place on the internet. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, that's bullshit. Oh, I tried it. Oh, yeah, it doesn't work. That's stupid. Guys, this shit works. I saved myself. I literally saved myself. And you could have distrust in me if I was charging you money, if I was trying to build a big following on YouTube, if I wanted all these people worshiping me. I don't care about any of that shit. Like I said, I think it's only 12 of you that watch. I care about the 12 of you. I care about my kids. I care about my nieces and nephews. I care about my family and my friends, but none of them, none of them, they don't give a fuck. They all look at me like I'm a crazy loony bin. So you few who are watching this and actually taking action and doing these things and have been looking at my journey over the past few years and see that I literally saved myself, and I'm not charging for the information. All I am is a conduit. I am a divine conduit, and I am fulfilling my purpose. My purpose at this point in time, at this moment in time, my purpose is to filter out all the bullshit and hand you guys the golden nuggets that you can fast track your journey instead of having to go through all the sludge like I did and have to figure out all these different things and go through all these different things and pay for all these different classes and see what works and what doesn't and what's important and what's the foundations. And that's why that video is so important, the foundations for healing. And then I did a video, I think 2 days ago, the one with the circle on it, whatever. And that talks about the 4 aspects of the healing journey and how as you heal, you're going to go through these big jumps all of a sudden. And you're like, wow, this feels so great. But then all of a sudden you're going to come back around to, wherever you started, and you're going to have to address these things again, but on a deeper level. And it's going to feel like you're going to get disheartened. You're going to be like, oh man, what the fuck? I've spent, the past month and I'm back at this again. I haven't done shit. But guys, you got to understand, you're just taking these layers off, these layers of trauma, abuse, confusion, programs, indoctrination. You're just, each time you come back around, you're getting deeper and deeper. It's like peeling back an onion until you get to your true essence, yourself, your soul, your birthright, right? The gift that allows you in every moment to go, thank you for the gift of life. I am so grateful for this breath. And that's what it feels like. That's what it literally feels like. And I'm trying to give that magic gift to y'all because this is amazing. I wish I could share it with everybody, but like I said, the people closest to me think I'm a freaking nut or an asshole or a cocksucker or a dickhead or whatever they think. I don't even know. People are afraid of me, guys. I built up the mass. Oh my God, I was a crazy person before. I was scary. I was not somebody that a lot of people could be around, you know? And so I understand why they're like that. And that makes me, you know, that's something else I'm working on is, man, don't, you know, I can't beat myself up. That was the ego, you know, that was my survival. That's the only reason I had made it that far. And I never, you know, I really didn't want to hurt anybody. It's just I was killing myself for 40 years. You know, hurt people. And that's why, you know, I'm a healed person. I'm trying to bring this healing to y'all, you know, because I love you guys. I mean, damn, we're all beautiful, eternal, powerful, all-knowing, all-powerful souls, guys, connected to everything on that plane of existence, occupying and in charge of the most highly intelligent, guys, every single one of our trillions of cells holds the blueprint for our whole body inside of it. We need nothing outside of ourselves. The problem isn't that we don't have the answers. The problem is that we have too many answers. And it's all about cutting out all the noise and learning and being that person that human that you trust the most. And so, yeah, that's it. So, you know, we're eternal souls occupying and in charge of the most advanced, most highly intelligent biological system on this earth. Guys, they can't, with all their technology, all their science, all their teachers, all their experts, all their bullshit, they can't even recreate this incredible being. They can't do it. They can't come anywhere near it with all their fucking bullshit nanotechnology and all their synthetic horse shit. They can't even come close to replicating this thing. Any part of this thing, the skin, the lymphatic system, the brain, you name it, the eye, the ears, I mean, they can't do none of it. And that's how incredibly advanced, I mean, this system is, and we're running around with it, poisoning the shit out of it constantly every day, acting like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Because of this. Get out of here and get back in here, guys. Oh, real quick, I went like this. You remember growing up, our heart was always on the right side, or left side. That's why we always, you know, pledged allegiance to this bullshit flag on this side. And now the heart's in the middle. Man, shit just fucking crazy. But anyways, I love y'all. Take care of yourselves, guys. Nobody else will.